Welcome to Off the Rails.
Yep. First off the rails.
In person off the rails.
In person, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Oh, that was a small burp. But it felt like it was going to be big.
Put my old man
Oh,
glasses.
God, he's going to put his old man glasses on. I got the hiccups. Damn it. I don't want hiccups right when we start this thing.
I don't know a good way to get rid of them.
Me neither. I know, hold your breath.
There's like 20 different ones.
There is. And I don't think any of them work.
Yeah, exactly.
That was weird. Okay, yeah, he's getting high.
Shut up.
Are you not?
I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know.
Oh.
You have to drive home, remember that. We don't have to.
Well, I drive high all the time. I'm not going to say that.
Oh, okay. You drive high. Good. That's
I would never drive.
You would never.
I would never drive under the influence of any kind of substance.
Yeah. So, Off the Rails.
So, yeah,
In person, Off the Rails. You're actually here for this one. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I'm back. Weird, because I kind of feel... I was going to say I feel better than ever, but I remember that I hurt
You definitely feel better than last week.
I hurt my hip really bad Monday.
Yeah.
So, again, I do delivery trucks on Mondays and Thursdays.
Did you fall off your dinosaur?
Sadly, no. Not that old yet. But normally the delivery truck, we wanted to get there around the time that we open, which is about 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
It didn't show up until like 9:48.
Yeah.
So that means I couldn't start the delivery truck
Right.
until I was supposed to already be leaving my shift at 10.
Yeah.
And I pulled my hip pretty bad.
Yep.
I don't work Tuesdays already, so it
Yep. You missed the early bird special and you hurt yourself. Yep. Makes sense.
I couldn't get to Cracker Barrel that day, and I was pretty upset.
Yep. Couldn't get the silver dollar pancakes from IHOP
I couldn't.
for a reduced price.
I'm very upset. But yeah, I couldn't even go into work Wednesday. Not Wednesday, Thursday. That was a fun day.
Yeah.
It's a fun day.
I went to work Thursday.
I'm glad for you.
I'm not. I wish I wouldn't have. Actually, Thursday was a really good day. It was a really easy day. It was a lot of driving. A lot of driving. In fact, I listened to 5 episodes of the Bad Friends podcast.
Gotta catch up.
Yeah, I
start
really
watching
do.
My first ones, yeah.
What?
I gotta start watching my first ones.
I literally went from the beginning about a week ago, and let's see what episode I'm on.
I really get fascinated with watching a podcast or watching a show and watching
doesn't
the
tell me what
most
episode.
recent one first, like as the first one I watch, and then going back and being like, all right, well, I see where they are now. I want to see how they started.
Yeah,
seeing how people started.
They started better than we did. That's for sure.
Well, they had
because
the money.
Yeah, I know. I understand that. I get that. Because they started before the pandemic ever started.
Which is also an easier thing, yeah.
Yeah. We started late. We started in October, last day of October, or the second to last day of October.
Give or take, yeah, I don't remember the exact date.
October 30th, I do.
Fair.
Yeah. And yeah, when we started like mid-pandy,
Yeah, the mid-pan.
pandy-wandy.
Which, I mean, if I'm being honest, like the pandemic really didn't affect
No, it didn't affect us.
anything for us.
Yeah, in Oklahoma, it didn't really. I mean, it did affect things. It did.
It affected Oklahoma, yes, but like us in particular.
But us in specific, no. I still went to work every day.
Yeah.
Because I was considered essential. You were considered essential.
Sadly, yes.
So we went to work every day. It didn't really affect us.
Yeah, it was
It did
weird.
affect. Oh, it did affect us in ways. It affected me in ways, but not like work wise.
Yeah, because your wife caught that COVID
My wife
disease.
caught the COVID, and my father-in-law passed away from the COVID
Yeah.
at like, I think he was like 54. Like he was like our dad's age.
Yeah.
So, and I know that made our dad.
Oh,
scared.
he got a
little freaked out from it, which I don't blame him.
He calmed down after a while, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame him at all. Like, I mean,
No, if I saw someone like my age pass from it, I'd be like, oh.
yeah, I mean, and he was in shape. He went to the gym every day. And yeah, I mean that kind of hit home a little harder than it was before. Before I was making jokes about it, and I could no longer make jokes about it because it became a little more real at that point. I don't know where I was going with this. I'm just kind of stating facts. But I know things have calmed down a lot since the beginning of the pandemic.
It feels like people at this point are just kind of like, a lot of people think that it's over. So
Not over, but like we want so badly to go back to normal, which there is no normal anymore. There's a new normal.
Yeah,
But
which kind of sucks.
I
It's not
think
a good
people want to
normal.
get back to as normal as possible so bad that we're just kind of like, you know what, just let it happen.
So there were a couple of things that like the pandemic kind of allowed to advance. So along the lines of, I think a lot of I was going to say schooling. I don't think should be online. I think you
No, I
need
hated
not for the schooling aspect, like the actual learning, but for like they need to learn social interaction. You can't get that off of a
For the
computer screen.
parents' sanity. No,
That's fair too. Like, you don't want your kids home all day.
I guess for the ones that weren't essential and did have to stay home, that made more sense. But for us parents that were essential, which both me and my wife were, we had to go to work all day, then come home and teach our 3 children how to do schoolwork. When do we have a moment of sanity? When? Never. We don't. We don't get one. And they expect us to just keep on moving and moving and moving. Like, we can't do it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I get why they shut down school for a little bit. It makes sense. They wanted to reduce the spread. But at the same, it's I don't even know how to go about this because of the fact that my father-in-law did catch it and passed away from it. But I feel like we kind of need to just let everyone
Do their thing.
do their thing, and it sounds terrible because people will die from it. People have died from it, and I don't discount their lives or their deaths at all. But I think we need to gain immunity to it. And by gaining immunity means we have to catch it.
Well, along the same lines of, if you, because we're calling this a pandemic, and it was very widespread and it affected a lot.
It was
of people.
worldwide.
It was worldwide, yes, but the actual, it basically gave a lot of light on a lot of individual laziness of how accepting a lot of people were of their circumstances and remember when everyone was freaking out and then buying toilet paper because
Oh, yeah.
that was
Oh, yeah.
well, because initially everyone didn't mean to hit my mic. Initially, everyone was saying that, oh, it makes you shit. Like, it really messes that up. And that was not true at all. That did not happen.
Here's the thing about that is even if it did,
you don't need more
47
toilet
extra
paper.
rolls of toilet paper isn't going to
You
do
gotta shit
anything.
more than just wait 2 hours. Just sit on the toilet for 2 hours and then wipe.
Not only that, but like, I don't. Even if I get a spell of that situation going on, I don't go out and buy a whole extra package of toilet paper for that.
Yeah.
Like, buying one extra package of toilet paper than what you normally buy, I understand. Buying 17 more than what you normally buy makes no sense. First of all, where are you storing it? What, are you just stacked up in the hallway? That's dumb. Second of all, you ain't gonna be shitting that much. You have to catch it in order to shit that much.
So, also, do you remember all of the people that were being like, you don't have a right to make me wear a mask. It's my
Oh yeah.
It's
Oh,
my
yeah.
constitutional
Yeah,
right to
absolutely.
choose to not wear a
Yeah.
mask. So, okay, so my mindset on the virus had kind of shifted as it went along. Because initially I was like, oh, this is going to be like the flu. Like this is going to be like nothing.
Yeah,
a lot of
absolutely.
people, because I was so used to everyone like being afraid and hyping up something that really meant nothing.
Swine flu, Ebola, all that stuff.
You know, the comeback of measles, the
Yeah.
anti-vaxxers.
Yeah, all that. Yeah.
Like I was so used to people just saying stupid things to stupid people and then the stupid people believing the stupid things. So I was like, this is just another stupid thing that stupid people are believing. And then people were getting affected. And that's when I took things very seriously. I was like, hey, like, yeah, okay, I'll wear a mask. I'll social distance, I'll do all the things because people are being affected by this. Like,
Yeah, that actually affected our show at one point.
yeah.
When my wife had it, I literally said, "Hey, at this date, we are good to go back to work," and you did not want to go back in person yet.
I didn't because that was along the lines of where they were saying both 11 days and 14 days. And I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
well, I just don't want to take the chance. Not because of me, because Dad's my neighbor and
Yeah.
I don't want to get them sick.
Right. You know, and I understood.
Yeah.
I mean, I
was-
did and didn't at the same time.
I was sitting there, I was like, oh.
okay, settle down. That was my first reaction. I was like, dude, settle down. But at the same time, I was like, I get it. So we did the show remotely. It wasn't great. It was difficult.
Yeah.
We actually, I actually made a joke about it in the show by putting the static of me losing connection to you.
That's right,
While
yeah.
you're telling a story. And I mean, and that's the trials and tribulations that we learned as a show was how to do it remotely. Was not the way we did that show. That was definitely not the way to do it. And we've grown as a show because of it, because we've learned how to do the show remotely. And we did it for a long time remotely. And not because of COVID. I don't even know why we did it remotely.
It was
I think it's just simplicity.
a lot of simplicity. It was a lot of easier, like no transportation.
Right.
And initially we didn't have the two audios, so we were doing something about Zoom that we really liked. I don't know what it was.
It worked out really well.
It was convenient. I think we were both saying that it was kind of comfortable to just
Yeah.
kind of just
be in
sit in your own area.
Yeah, be in
Like,
our own
like
home.
we
be
can physically
comfortable.
be doing whatever we want. We're in
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
we feel comfortable in our house.
But I mean, we feel comfortable here now
Yeah, I
too.
will say this is also pretty comfortable.
I don't like this chair.
No, yeah, my ass has been uncomfortable for a little
My
bit, but
legs have been asleep.
and
for
I
like
can't move
4
my
hours.
legs forward because there was a metal bar
Yeah,
attached to the table.
My legs have been asleep for 4 hours. There's not much I can do there.
Yeah,
And I've had to
exactly.
constantly pee, which has nothing to do with the chair. That's just a random fact I want to throw out there.
Hey, well, it's mostly the beer.
Yeah.
Actually,
well,
it's probably
yeah.
all the beer.
All the beer and the monster.
Yeah, the monster did not help the situation.
Yeah. I have to pee again, but we'll keep going. We're at 12 and a half minutes, so we can just keep going for a little bit.
So what I want to ask for this is that now that we were talking about weird things with COVID, people have been calling that a conspiracy, and I was thinking, well, some of those things I believe. And I was wondering, what conspiracies do you think are actually true, and which ones are you just like, there's no way, like that's completely stupid.
I don't get into conspiracies that much. COVID it's serious.
Well, let's see which one, like which COVID conspiracy, like the one that came from China, which I mean that was proven.
That's a proven fact.
There was one that's like the government constructed it, which I think that's stupid. I think they
think it's
give the
stupid.
government too much credit, being like, oh, they're
I
this
don't
all
think
powerful.
it's our government. I think it's a collaboration of all governments.
So well, okay, so it is proven that COVID-19 was a thing before, but it was contained
Well,
and they
no,
had it in a
COVID
lab.
has existed because on
Well,
Lysol bottles.
there's multiple kinds of COVID.
Yeah, because on Lysol bottles there was already a COVID on there.
Yeah, but
It's not
there-
COVID-19 because COVID-19 developed in 2019.
But that strand of COVID that got released was a COVID that has been in containment in China for a while, and they was being
It wasn't just. It just
it was
wasn't
being
called 19
tested.
yet.
I'm not going to say it was being experimented on,
But did
it
you
was
know
being
that there's
tested.
also a sister lab here in the U.S.?
And that's not surprising.
I believe it's in South Carolina.
I mean, if there was, I would want them to have that because that also, well, I guess in this case, you would think, why not faster vaccine? But also, I don't want to go down this conspiracy rabbit hole, but I'm about to.
Here we go. Deep dive.
The election, Trump and Biden,
All right.
vaccine comes out right when Biden.
No,
gets
isn't it
elected.
amazing how little talk there was right after the election? It was
Yes. Notice how quiet it was.
no news was like just pumping out COVID-19 news.
And Hunter Biden stuff still like they haven't done anything with
Yeah, that just dropped.
off. It's because they fed their agenda already. They have
election
nothing else.
propaganda is. This is why I don't like politics.
I could go all day about it. It's all stupid.
But we don't like to get into politics because
I like to get into politics.
you
don't like to get into
but I despise politics.
Well,
for that.
it's because you can go farther and farther down any rabbit hole, and
yeah.
most likely it's true.
Each side has their own agenda. Each side feeds a conspiracy.
Yeah, both sides are stupid, and you're not winning.
And both sides argue with the other side, calling the other side stupid, and it's just like two kids fighting on a playground. And I hate it.
Okay, so we talked about this on the show when we had Jake, and I was talking about the trying to go back to the 3-party system and how some states and how you're having candidates, but the candidates partnered together. Mm-hmm. So a lot of them were being now politicians that usually would throw slander at each other in commercials are now buddy in commercials, being like, hey, if you don't vote for me first, vote for them first, and then vote for me second or them second.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that. And a lot of it is when you put the American political system into a win or lose, like battle royale, what are you going to expect to happen? One side doesn't, like neither side wants to lose, and nobody wants to vote for a loser.
It's like putting each candidate with their back against the wall.
So
they will do anything to come out a winner.
Because
Anything.
it's all stakes. It's like you win or
Yeah.
you lose. So what do you do when there's a win or lose? You start stacking things
And
in your
I'm
favor.
not saying I support either side because
No, because they're both wrong.
in all honesty, I don't support either side.
Yeah, they're both wrong. There is no right side right now.
The only thing I will say I like about Trump was the fact that he just spoke his mind.
Yeah, he just talked.
But presidential wise, like, I mean,
Well, so he did a decent amount of good things that went completely
any
under the
president
radar
does.
because he was
any
Trump.
president does a
Yes.
decent amount of good things.
But this is one of the only ones where they never mentioned anything good that he did. It was always just
That's
slander.
true.
It was all just slander.
That's true.
Because if they would have just been like, "Hey, President, clean slate, like you're this,"
Well, it's also, I think he's also the only president that was set up for impeachment after he was no longer president.
or set up for impeachment like that many times.
Well, and because they wanted him to never be able to run again.
Yeah, and they lost
They lost, of course.
both times.
Because there's, I mean, shocker, he's not as bad as everyone says.
And also, I was seeing so many
It's
posts.
for any candidate though. Like, they're not as bad as everyone says. Of course, when you run for presidency and you want to put yourself in that spotlight, everyone's going to find every single possible thing wrong with you.
Yes, because like I said, when you put it into a win-lose system, there was no defense. If you're in defense, you're losing. You got to stay on offense,
Of
which
course.
means slander,
course, of
insult. You have I forget what I was listening to, but they were talking about how because if you think about how India does elections, they have India's gone too far.
I don't know how India does.
They have hundreds of parties, to thousands of parties probably actually, and all these different candidates. So it's not really a win-lose. You're not really slandering the other person. I mean,
There's too many to slander at that point.
So yeah, they're a symbol of going too far with that. But what you want to do is you need more parties so that it's not one versus one. There's a winner and there's a loser. You need a congregation of.
Well, no, this is what we need.
people.
We need to eliminate the Electoral College
That's a huge thing, yeah.
because this is why people don't think their vote counts.
Because they're not in a swing state.
Yeah, because if you're not in a majority state that has a majority vote for electoral votes, it's almost as if it doesn't matter. Which it does. I mean, every vote counts, which is what they portray. But if you live in like, say, Iowa, like, does it really?
Illinois. Yeah.
Does it really?
Hey there, Montana. You think your vote's
Like,
going somewhere?
You want New York, Georgia, Florida, California,
Texas.
Texas? Like, you want the big states.
Yeah.
But once we get rid of the Electoral College and we actually go by the individual voting counts, that's when it will make a difference. Get rid of the Electoral College, and presidential elections will be completely different. And more people will be happy because their vote counted.
Yeah, it means something.
Yeah.
Well, also along the lines of nobody, like I said, nobody wants to vote for a loser. So when they start noticing that one person's winning, they're going to vote for the winner. A lot of people do that. Now, I've noticed a decent amount of people.
It's
vote for the
because you
side that
don't
they
want to
believe
be
in.
the one, oh, I voted for Trump,
Yeah,
but he lost.
You don't want to say like I voted for Biden.
But then you got
and
those
I
diehards that still fly their flags. Trump 2020. Like, actually, no.
See, this is along the lines of
Actually,
like-
it's not Trump 2020 anymore.
like
Sorry,
now now you hear a lot of like slander towards Trump supporters because a
Yeah.
lot of them take it too far. But it goes along
Oh,
the
yeah.
lines of like I'm tired of seeing everything like just categorized as this group bad.
conservative,
Good-
liberal, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, right wing, left wing. It's like,
Like,
well,
can
you
we all
can't,
just
you can't
find
be
a way
like
to get
right wing
along?
back. It's like, well, maybe I'm right wing and maybe I'm just like kind of right wing.
Maybe
Like,
I'm a liberal conservative.
maybe I just believe in what I believe in that doesn't have anything
Yeah,
to do
maybe it
with
doesn't
it's a
have a
left wing or
specific
right.
party. Like,
Maybe I'm not Republican. Maybe I just
maybe
like
I don't
people.
vote because of a certain party. I vote
Yeah.
because of what they stand for.
Yeah, it's like maybe, like, say like someone's like, oh hey, like maybe I'm against abortions, but it's not because I'm one side or the other side, or maybe
Well, and
I'm
see,
for
here's where I
this.
have the problem with that is like, I'm against abortions, except for
those situations.
those situations like, hey,
those bad
let's say
situations.
she got raped
Yeah.
and she got pregnant because of it. I can understand that. But if it's like, oh, I made a bad decision and slept with a guy without a condom, like, sorry, I kind of feel like you need to deal with that.
See, and I'm
And not deal with that by kill the baby.
yeah.
But like, if you get raped by some dude, I mean, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like, I'm on both sides on that, and that's why I could never run for politics because I couldn't be on. I'm one of those people that can see both sides of the story.
This goes into something we talked about before of like the legal system can't be gray
or white.
area. There can't be
It's
any
black
gray
or
area.
white. That's
Yeah.
all it is.
So you can't be like, oh well, everything
Yeah,
except for this situation.
I support abortion, except for you can't do that. You have to be like I support it.
It's either
or I
yes
don't.
or no.
Yeah, there's no gray area.
Yeah. And all that like
And there should absolutely be a gray area. There's always a gray area.
see, but when you make
For
a
anything,
system, when you make a
Except for
system to
rape.
cover
There's
Yeah.
no gray area for rape.
no, but that's what
The answer
happens
is
when
no.
you try
No
to
is no.
when you try to blanket one system to cover 350 million people. The system's not going to work properly
Yeah.
because that's 350 possible gray areas.
Yeah,
that you're just
right.
like, no, it's either black or white. It's just like, well, this guy stole a hot dog because he's starving. He gets the same prison time as the guy that stole his sausage because he was bored.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is not a
it's-
euphemism
it's-
for what's gonna happen to
And
him
this
in
is why I
prison.
don't like talking about politics, which we just spent 23 minutes doing.
Because we could spend another 23 minutes and it would just
could.
make us more and more upset.
Exactly. Well, I'm not upset.
No, but
It's just like-
it's all disappointing.
It's not going anywhere.
gloomy.
You're
No.
never gonna win. You're never gonna win over everybody. Like it's just not gonna happen.
I could say this into a microphone for years and
Yeah,
everyone
I
would be
could
like, "It's
have
that guy. Who
I could
cares?"
have 50% of our audience pissed off at me, and I could have 50% of our audience saying, "Yeah, go Cameron."
Well, the entire world could hear this and then not care the next day and just go back to
Yeah,
their
exactly.
Twitter.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Just go back to their Twitter banter. Of
not
like,
even
"Hey, you
the
can't
next
say
day.
he,
Like
she."
within an hour, go back to what they were doing, and that's fine because you're never going to persuade people from what they believe. Which is fine because you're entitled to that opinion. You're entitled to that belief.
Well, I
That's the
think-
beautiful thing of being in America.
Well, I think if given all facts, you know you're wrong, but you continue believing what you believe, I think you're also kind of the worst kind of person.
Well, yes. If you can in your mind say I'm wrong, but this is what I believe, you're kind of
Yeah.
a piece of shit.
Because there's a lot of people that will admit, like, oh yeah, I know all the facts point to this being wrong, but I still support
That's
it.
what makes America America.
Yeah, you
We're
have
made
the,
up
you have the
of
full
all
right,
different sorts of people.
but I also have the right to not like that person.
We're a melting pot.
We're a really stupid family.
The entire nation is a family reunion.
And it's not a good one. You
Not
have a
a
lot
good
of
one.
Northerners,
It's
a lot
the
of
it's the
Southerners.
family reunion you don't want to be a part of.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of something you have to deal with.
Yeah, you walk up to your Aunt Connecticut and be like, what's going on over there? Be like, oh, well, New York and New Jersey are fighting again.
Of course.
Texas is down there smoking weed, and California saying they're trying to color their hair a different color this week.
Yeah. Yeah. They're flying their flag again.
Yeah, they're doing some weird. They're walking around in their weird rainbow flags and doing stuff.
But you know what's funny is all of it's okay.
Yeah, because it's. I mean, from left
America.
to right, you have the right.
You
to do
have
what you
the
want.
right. You have. I mean, you're.
It's when you start saying, "I don't like this person. That person doesn't deserve to do what they're doing because I don't like it." That's where you start saying my rights are better than their rights.
Yeah, which is not
and
true.
that's. I mean,
They're
that's
all
the
equal.
same. And that's the
That's
same
the beautiful
thing as being
of
racist.
equal rights.
Yeah. The same. It's not even being racist. It's being so self-centered that you're putting yourself into almost a god position, being like, how dare you say anything against what I'm saying? Because what I'm saying is right because I
Right.
think it is. That person should be silenced. And if you keep thinking like that, that's how you get that Iranian government that killed that wrestler because he was at a peaceful protest.
Yep. And thank you for tuning in to the Off the Rails version of the podcast.
Yeah, we hope you're triggered for the rest of the day now.
We hope we triggered all of you.
Every single one of you now
Tune
hate
in
yourselves.
next week for another exciting episode.
Yeah. We want to have an outro for Off the Rails now.
Until next time.